In the dusty streets of a border town, the Apache girl sat in chains, her wrists bruised and ankles raw from iron shackles. Traders and townsfolk passed her by, whispering about her tribe, her silence, and the curse of her people. To them, she was nothing but a burden, a prisoner of conquest. She lowered her eyes, hiding the fire that still lived within her. No one offered kindness. No one wanted her. She was displayed like property at the edge of the marketplace, a reminder of wars fought and lost. Children pointed, men spat, and women pulled their shawls tighter, as though she carried shame instead of dignity. Yet beneath her silence lay strength, an unbroken spirit waiting for the right moment. Far away, riders approached. Dust rose on the horizon, and the townsfolk grew uneasy. Whispers spread. The notorious outlaw chief and his gang were nearing. He was known for his ruthlessness, but also for defying unjust men. And when his sharp eyes fell upon the girl in shackles, something shifted in the air. The outlaw chief, known as Ryder Blackthorn, rode into town with his men. Leather coats, scarred faces, and rifles at their sides made the townsfolk step back in fear. Ryder dismounted slowly, his boots striking the earth with purpose. He surveyed the marketplace, but his gaze lingered on the chained Apache girl. Her dark eyes met his, steady despite her suffering. She did not beg or cry, she simply watched, her silence a weapon stronger than words. Ryder recognized that look. It was the look of someone who had been wronged yet refused to break. The sheriff swaggered forward. "She's not worth your time, Blackthorn. Just a savage girl, trouble if you ask me." His words dripped with disdain. Ryder's jaw tightened. He ignored the sheriff and stepped closer to the girl. "Who put these chains on you?" he asked softly. She said nothing, only lifted her bruised wrists. His men shifted, sensing the tension. Townsfolk whispered nervously. Why would an outlaw care for a girl no one else wanted? But Ryder saw more than a prisoner, he saw courage. And something deep inside him stirred. The sheriff scoffed. "You'll want nothing to do with her. She's wild blood. Dangerous." He reached for his revolver as if to remind Ryder who was in charge. But before he could act, Ryder's hand was faster. His revolver gleamed, aimed squarely at the sheriff's chest. The marketplace fell silent. "Dangerous," Ryder growled. "I see a girl in chains. And I see cowards who put her there." With a swift motion, Ryder holstered his gun and drew his knife. He knelt beside the Apache girl, his leather gloves brushing the cold iron shackles. The crowd gasped as the blade struck, sparks flying, until the chains fell away. For the first time, she lifted her chin. Her eyes, filled with defiance and gratitude, locked onto his. Ryder extended his hand, not as a captor but as an equal. Slowly, she placed her trembling hand into his. The sheriff snarled, but Ryder's gang closed in, weapons at the ready. The outlaw chief had spoken with his actions. This girl was no longer a prisoner. She was under his protection. And no one in that town dared to challenge him. With the girl freed, Ryder mounted his horse and lifted her up behind him. His men followed, rifles gleaming under the sun. The sheriff shouted curses, but no one dared fire a shot. The dust of their departure swallowed the town, leaving behind whispers and fear. On the open trail, the girl held tightly to Ryder's coat. For the first time in years, the wind touched her face without the weight of chains. She wanted to speak but found no words strong enough to carry her gratitude. Ryder glanced back at her. "You're safe now," he said, his voice low, almost gentle. They rode for hours until they reached the outlaw camp. The gang greeted her with cautious curiosity, but Ryder's sharp gaze silenced any doubt. "She is one of us now," he declared. "Harm her, and you answer to me." That night, by the fire, the Apache girl sat quietly, listening to laughter and music. Her people were gone, her past stolen, but here, among outlaws, she felt the first spark of belonging. Days turned into weeks. The girl, once shunned and shackled, began to heal. She spoke little, but her presence was strong. She tended the horses, helped with the fire, and in time, even laughed. The outlaws, hardened by life, grew to respect her resilience. Ryder watched from afar. He had rescued many before, but this was different. Her courage reminded him of a freedom he had long forgotten. He did not see her as weak, he saw her as unbreakable. One evening, as the sun set crimson over the desert, she approached him. "Why?" she finally asked, her voice steady. "Why free me?" Ryder looked into her eyes, the firelight dancing between them. "Because no chains belong on the innocent," he said simply. "And because I saw strength in you the world was too blind to see." In that moment, the girl realized she had not just found freedom, she had found someone who valued her spirit. Ryder had not only cut her chains, but also restored her dignity. From then on, the Apache girl walked beside the outlaw chief, no longer unwanted, no longer bound, proof that even in a cruel world, freedom and love could be found in the most unexpected hearts.